Greetings, friends. It's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush and another collage. This one I am finishing the collage I started a couple of weeks ago of my friend's dog. And here is how far I got last time. I just got the background in and the shadows. Now you could see on the photo reference that there's a shadow up the side of the wall where the dog is leaning. I'm going to change that later, because after I get all of the colors in on this dog, that shadow really takes away from my main focal point, which is my little dog. Now this is a special pet portrait because this dog has passed away. She had cancer, and my friend misses her very much, and so I am making a pet portrait for him to remember his faithful friend. As you can see, I'm trying to put in all these shadows first, and then I'm going to add some highlights. Now, highlights on a black dog, not real easy because it's black. However, black does reflect things that are around it, so I'm going to use a lot of blue and some purple and some blue-gray, hoping that the dog doesn't look that old because I'm using gray. As I go along, I notice that there are parts that are too light and parts that are too dark, and so you may see me gluing pieces on top of pieces I've already put on. That's when I look at it and I decide that color there did not work. I need to change it. And it does feel like I'm jumping around from top to bottom and middle and I am. But you see the overall picture. You stand back and see the whole thing, not just pieces of the thing. So I try not to do just one part of an image and finish it. I try and do all the pieces together to get the feel of the overall picture. Once you have backgrounds and foregrounds and middle grounds laid in, all of the values tend to change. They blend together with the eye. Now I thought I'd use this very dark brown up there on the muzzle of the dog, and I do not like how it looks. I'm going to end up changing that a couple of times. Looks like the dog's mouth is open, and that's not quite right. Also, the way the dog is sitting, you can see into her ear. And it looked rather pink to me, so I used pink. However, later on as I look at it, it's too light against the dark dog. So I'm going to change it. Now it seemed to me that there was quite the highlight on the upper chest where she's sitting in the sun and it's reflecting the sunlight. However, as I got all the rest of these shadow pieces in, I can see that that highlight on the chest is too much. It looks like a giant rose sitting in the middle of her chest. It does not work. So I'm going to have to tone that way down. Time to work on the toes. And she is sitting kind of funny. She's sitting on one hip and stretching the other hip out. So one leg is sort of sideways, while the other three are pointing forward. The collar is pink. But the little name tag is a heart with red inside. So I cut out the silver, put on a shadow, put the red in the middle, and now I've got to try and put some letters inside there, very small letters. Her name was Jet. I assume for jet black. Time to work a little more on the feet. And because I thought that shadow was perhaps too dark, I put blue over it, and that didn't help. On the wall, the shadow on the wall. Now sometimes when you feel like you're stuck, and you're putting pieces on top of pieces, changing it a number of times, and still it just doesn't seem to gel, that's when it's time to go and ask some friends to look at it. And that's what I did. I took it with me to my art group, and they all got together and they said, that shadow on the wall is not working. Looks like an extra tail. So I got rid of the wall. And you know, I'm an artist. I can do that. I can change the photo reference. So I whited out the wall and stretched out her shadow to go across as if she's sitting there in the middle of the patio, instead of leaning against a wall. And it looks much better. I got rid of that highlight on top of her chest by toning it way down, and fixing a few little things here and there. And the last thing to do is to put the toenails on the dog. Those toenails are important. It is a detail that would look odd if it were not there. And I had put some highlights on some of the toenails too. And here it is all finished. I think that getting rid of that wall really, really helped. I changed the muzzle and lightened it up. I darkened the inside of the ear. I think my friend will be very happy with this. What do you think? Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Do give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And come again. See what I'm doing next week. And bye, everyone. Have a good week.